So again, this is 7 days after Pablo Torre's first podcast last September. And it seems to me like Adam Silver is of the opinion, I can do whatever I want to whomever I want. That's how I took it. Azzo, listen to this. Let me know. Everyone in the audience, let me know. Here it is.
Broad do your powers extend as far as the collective bargaining agreement, as far as penalties you can assess to the Clippers, to Kawhi Leonard?
My powers are very broad. The full range of financial penalties, draft picks, suspensions, etc. I have very broad powers in these situations.
I wonder if you can clarify a couple of things with regard to cap circumvention. Is the burden of proof on the league to prove that it happened, whatever proving it happened might mean, or is it on the team to prove that it did not happen? And then related to that, if I could just tack it on, there is the reference to circumstantial evidence within that clause. Does the NBA need hard evidence of some sort, a text, an email, a memo, or is the mere appearance of impropriety enough for the league to act?
Boy, is this an important question from Howard Beck. This is significant. Hit it.
Number one, the burden is on the league. If we're going to discipline a team, an owner, a player, or any of the constituent members of the league, I think, as with any process that requires a fundamental sense of fairness, the burden should be on the party that is, in essence, bringing those charges. And then in terms of your specific question about circumstantial evidence, I was only quasi-joking with someone earlier that, when people talk about a smoking gun, that's obviously circumstantial. It means the gun is still smoking. It must have recently fired. I'd say in the case of the league, we and our investigators look at the totality of the evidence. So I think whether mere appearance, like just by the way those words read, I think as a matter of fundamental fairness, I would be reluctant to act if there was sort of a mere appearance of impropriety. I think the goal of a full investigation is to find out if there really was impropriety, because also in a public-facing sport, again, the public at times reaches conclusions that later turn out to be completely false. And so I would want anybody else in situation Mr. Ballmer is in now, or Kawhi Leonard for that matter, to be treated the same way I would want to be treated if people were making allegations against me. So the answer is, we're not a court of law at the end of the day either, that we have broad authority to look at all information and to weigh it accordingly.
Camel Clutch in the chat. Adam Silver has broad stuff.
Yeah.
In a moment where Southern Ontario is being covered by this terrifying partial solar eclipse, we are reminded in that comment from Adam Silver of the power of totality. And he had a line in there that was pretty significant. If the totality of the evidence tells us something, like this is their problem. And by there, I mean the Clippers and potentially Kawhi. It's not the one thing anymore, allegedly. Right? So that was September 10th of last year. Like this is, the drip hadn't really started yet.
Correct.
So fast forward to this week. Still, since July 9th, we haven't heard from either of the teams about pausing the Kawhi trade. Raptors paused it because the league basically said sign stuff or you waive us of responsibility or you can't make the deal. And they're like, okay, well, wait. The bravery of the Raptors. And the Clippers haven't said anything either since July the 9th. Both teams put out a statement. Now, it was maybe a month and a bit back, or it might have been less than that. There was the report from ESPN that this investigation to Kawhi and the Clippers could go into 2027. That was the only report I had heard suggesting this whole thing will bleed into the season. Until yesterday. Jake Fisher is the reporter this week that spoke to Kawhi's camp and reported that Kawhi is 100% confident he's going to be a Raptor. But Jake Fisher went on his podcast yesterday. He works for the Stein Line. And he put out a timeline I have not heard yet. And if this timeline comes to pass on the investigation, Raptor fans, I got some bad news for you. Hit it.
The point in time where I was hearing from various people connected to the situation that they thought there could be an investigation before September began. I've since been told to not be that optimistic, but that training camp and sometime in mid-December is very much realistic and in the cards for when this.
Can you rewind that a touch? Yeah. I should have let that play out. My apologies. Whenever you're ready, Azo, hit it.
Training camp and sometime in mid-December is very much realistic and in the cards for when this investigation could be concluded.
Sometime between September and December is when the investigation could be concluded, according to Jake Fisher's latest reporting. Put a pin in that. Let him finish the point, because he has been tapped in with Camp Kawhi for the last week or so.
So I'm going to rewind it a bit again.
Optimistic, but that training camp and sometime in mid-December is very much realistic and in the cards for when this investigation could be concluded, and then the league's determinations of punishment, penalty, what have you, would be out there. The only thing that I could see potentially providing some friction for Kawhi's side and this optimistic, bullish timeline that they have of him joining the Raptors in training camp is if the league does come with a major hammer on the Clippers. Los Angeles has been absolutely adamant that the Clippers are innocent of any wrongdoing here and that any appearance of salary cap circumvention is merely just that. And so I have been given every indication that if the Clippers do get some type of major punishment, that Los Angeles is going to go to arbitration with the NBA in that event. They are prepared to defend their honor and they want to get justice and blah, blah, blah. So would the league in that instance, would they be willing to separate the Clippers punishment and Kawhi's outcome from ratifying that trade and moving that forward? That would be a keen distinction there, especially if, you know, the Toronto Raptors are just waiting for the trade to be completed in order to potentially not be on the hook for any punishment for Kawhi. So if there's a punishment for the Clippers and there's no punishment for Kawhi, then I would see and think that the trade would go through and the Clippers would move forward into their own separate arbitration process against the league and battle that out in some type of settlement, court situation. But maybe there is a reality where if the punishment for Kawhi is different than the punishment for the Clippers and vice versa, then the Clippers can do their arbitration thing and Kawhi can go to Toronto. But to wrap this all up, Kawhi Leonard, without a doubt, is convinced that, according to multiple sources with knowledge of the situation, that he is going to be eligible to join the Raptors in training camp because the league's investigation is going to be concluded and their punishments are going to be determined and levied some point mid-September.
Mario in the chat. Kawhi in Toronto just in time for Christmas. Woo! Okay. There's a lot there.
A lot.
Where do you want to go with it first?
A lot of ifs in there first.
A lot of ifs.
A lot of ifs.
I still can't quite leave the line that he said, there's now a feeling this wraps up between September and so basically the NFL season.
Yeah. Into the
somewhere
NBA
in the NFL season. Remember, NBA season starts October the 20th.
Exactly. So it would be mid.
Media day for the Raptors is September the 29th. Somewhere in the NFL season, this gets wrapped up. I'm here. There's a lot in the air, Azo.
There is.
Like here's where I'm at right now. I don't doubt people in the Raptors organization, having gone to these lengths, still not triggering the trade, by the way, but still having gone to these lengths, do believe for some reason Kawhi Leonard is not only going to not get suspended, but this investigation will wrap up by media day on September the 29th. I have no reason to believe they don't believe that. Every piece of reporting that's coming out of the Raptors, whether it's Grange, Lewenberg, anyone around that organization, has told us the same thing. But I keep hearing these things from other reporters who are, quite frankly, at times more dialed in with the league than people here in Toronto, who are giving you these wild time frames on the investigation. And I am now starting to believe that, yes, I don't think Kawhi Leonard, because guess what? If you have a small business, there's an owner of the small business, there's directors underneath, and there are shareholders. And if you are listed as a shareholder, you don't sign anything. So if Uncle Dennis is the president or director, Kawhi will be at the bottom of that paper trail. There will not be a signature of Kawhi anywhere. And if that's the case, the league can't touch him. The league cannot touch him on any of this stuff, whether it's Rhode Island FC or Aspiration or Daktronics, whatever it is. But here's what the NBA can do. Drag this the hell out. Because I keep hearing people say, well, wouldn't the league want this wrapped up? You don't think the league would normally have this wrapped up?
Yeah.
It's August 12th, man. You don't think the league would normally have? I'm not moving on this. The only recourse the NBA has in terms of making a point with everyone involved is dragging this out as long as possible and forcing the Raptors to back off. I don't know if that's going to happen. It's a game of chicken. It's a serious game of chicken. But I'll indulge. I will also live in that world where Kawhi's not going to get touched and he just walks away and goes to the Kai Tech Arena August 15th. But I don't believe Silver doesn't know what he's doing here. I don't. Could be wrong, but there's no other explanation for why at this point they have allowed an investigation that they're paying for to go on this long. Unless he's also playing chicken with Pablo Torre and he doesn't know what he's got coming out either.
Exactly.
Which of the two do you think is more likely?
Well, and now more stuff's getting uncovered, like the Rhode Island stuff. Like we're finding out about Daktronics now because now it's all coming out. There's more stuff being unearthed here.
So do you think it's more of a game of chicken between Pablo Torre and Adam Silver than it is between Bobby Webster and Adam Silver?
So I see it two ways. Yes. I think it's all combined, man. Like it's crazy because number one, everybody says there's sources. Jake Fisher has gone to Kawhi's sources. Yeah, of course he thinks he's going to be in training camp because he's claiming he didn't do anything.
Yes.
If he says anything else, he's saying he's guilty.
Kawhi's reporting that Kawhi's innocent.
Right,
yes.
right. The
Shocking.
The Raptors don't want to look dumb that they went into this trade. So yeah, they think they're going to get him before training camp too. If they admit anything else, they're admitting they made a mistake. They're not doing that. Right? Granger's source is going to say, no, of course we think we're going to have him from hold because we put the trade on hold. We're not backing out. We're on hold. So like you got to understand where their sources are coming from. And if their sources change their story now, they look guilty or dumb. Right?
But you're right. And this is the part of the story, having reached this point where I'm trying to figure out how many people get fired in MLSE if they don't get Kawhi Leonard.
Okay, so let's say this.
Like that's a crazy notion to me.
To your point, he doesn't get suspended or he gets suspended for 25 games.
It's a slap on the wrist, whatever it is.
Or we even said we'd be okay with half a season at one point. But what if that suspension comes down mid-season?
What if the investigation is not done till 2027?
Yeah, till we heard. So now let's say it wraps up right around 2027. And it's like half the season from them. Are you still giving up that package to get him, even if it's for the playoffs?
Do you believe my main question to you in this moment before we go to a few more clips here, because I think they're pretty good. Do we live in a world where the Raptors start the season waiting for this investigation to end, and all of a sudden around Christmas they get Kawhi?
That would be insane.
That is insane. But the alternative is to canceling the trade. Do you think the Raptors are going to cancel the trade at this point? I'm not convinced.
But then I have a question about that because at that point he's still a member of the Clippers. So what's he do for the first half of the season?
He has groin issues and he doesn't do anything. What he's done his whole career, nothing. Don't work. Nothing. And the same with Ingram and the same with Dick. Grady.
I guess. But that's what I mean. This is still all up in the air. You can't go into the season with these guys just sitting there. And what? That's so weird.
Because again, if the more I hear about it, of course the Raptors don't think anything's going to happen to Kawhi because they're still holding on to this.
Well, they have to now. They're committed.
I don't think they have to. They can move on and do other stuff. They can go on with their off season.
But then they're admitting they screwed up or they were dumb to get involved in this. That's to your point. I think the NBA is stretching this out to force them to do that. That's the interesting part.
That's the interesting part.
I think the NBA is totally trying to force their way out of it and say, no, here, you guys put yourself in this situation. There's more light on us, so it's going to go. And my only problem with even Grange's stuff is like nowhere in that language does it say this can happen. Well, is there any language that says it can't? Like,
I still say conduct detrimental to the league exists in every CBA.
but it's
Every
not,
CBA.
there's no standard for it until it becomes a standard because this guy's done it like
See, I'm
nobody
with you.
else before.
I don't like the argument of, well, there's no real precedent for it.
Yeah.
Well, this is the biggest case of alleged salary cap circumvention we've ever seen in professional
They're
sport.
going to want to make an example out of it.
We're looking at the eclipse right now.
But, oh, get out of here. Can I ask you a question, though?
I'm being told never to look at an eclipse. CP2 is showing me the eclipse right now. My eyes!
Could the Raptors go after the league on this too? Because in 2019, they reported this guy was trying to do this, and the league never stepped in. They let him sign these contracts. And this all happened because, like, the Raptors flagged this to the league, and the league allowed it to happen. The Raptors told the league he was trying to do all this stuff he's doing, and the league did nothing about it. They let Uncle Dennis continue to negotiate for him, and that's what got them into trouble. The Raptors tried to raise the flag on this, so did the Lakers. Like, is there any repercussion that somebody can go after the league and said, hey, we tried to tell you this was going to happen, and you let it happen?
Well, I think doing it now while you're trying to convince the league to kind of let him loose is not the best timing.
But I'm
for the
saying
Raptors.
after the fact. Like, that's the crazy part to me.
But I'm with you because Gala in the chat just asked this. Sid, are you a fan of Kawhi being a Raptor or not? I don't trust this guy. Why do you? He hit a shot against Philly once? That's your reason for trusting this situation? Do you not find this weird? Do you not find this strange? Do you not find the podcast reporting for Pablo Torre concerning? Do you not find the outstanding questions equally concerning? What is your lack of concern? Help me help you on this. What is your lack of concern on this? I got news for you. He doesn't like this city because he left it. Are you okay? He left it. And he only was going to stay if he became more powerful than Bell, Rogers, and Larry and took over the Leafs. You trust him? Because he hit a shot against Philly? All right. I think this organization needs to be better than that. I think this is weird. This has been weird from the get-go. We might live in a world where he doesn't get suspended. I find it difficult to believe, but okay, I'll play along. There's a world where Kawhi Leonard might not get suspended, but you don't know when you're going to have access to Kawhi
Right.
Leonard.
That's the other. As a business decision, why did you involve yourself in a trade, not knowing when the decision and what the decision is coming down? If he gets half a year suspension, but it comes out halfway through the season, are you still making that trade just because you get him for the playoffs when he's going to be a free agent at the end of the year? That's insanity.
I understand.
Everybody's telling you because he's a winner, because he won here, he gets you a championship.
Was he a winner? Was he a winner with the Clippers? Was he a winner with the Clippers?
That was quite a run. These are all the people.
He didn't play in one conference championship game since signing with them. You good with that?
And he broke the franchise.
And by the way, he was a winner here because Masai built the foundation around his ass to let him sit basically half the year and then go off.
How are the Clippers?
Really?
Now?
All of a sudden, this town full of Kyle Lowry lovers all of a sudden forgets he was a part of that. Or Serge Ibaka, or Marc Gasol, or Pascal Siakam, or Fred VanVleet. No. No one else had anything to do with it but Kawhi. Sure.
It was a magical run like the Jays last year. It was crazy.
Sure. Masai didn't build a team at all. That didn't happen. Get out of here.
And again,
get out of here. By the way, this is a worse team.
How's he leaving the Clippers? They're crippled because of him. Crippled.
I don't trust him. I don't trust him.
How can you?
I don't trust him.
All right there.
I think this organization should go in a different direction. There's a lot of picks leaving. Do you know how many rounds there are in the NBA draft? Not many. And there's 5 draft picks leaving the door.
And this is 7 years.
2 of them
later.
are unprotected. 2 of them are unprotected. For a 35-year-old who's already told your city once, take a walk. I can't be the only one with this opinion. I can't.
No, I'm with you. But people are saying we need him to be better. One guy's saying, I refuse to, Sloshhogger in the chat, who we referenced. I refuse to believe behind closed doors, Kawhi is some loud, boisterous business mind vocalizing deals. That's his team's job. Obviously, his circle is corrupt, and that's on him. Yes, like you don't think he knows. He's done this everywhere he's gone. Like what? So
Allegedly.
All these places, though, that are talking to Pablo and the investigators, right? Like they didn't have to talk to them to the law firm, right? Like you were saying, only if you're an NBA employee did
Yeah,
you have
correct.
to
Oh
document.
no, aspiration people ran to walk tell Lipton and tell him their story.
So what if they ran and threw this guy more under the bus, saying, "No, this was all him asking for this. This was all him who demanded this." What are you gonna do?
Back to the original question: am I in favor of this? I feel very icky about this, and the Raptors aren't that close. If it's a Raptors situation like the summer of 2018 when they made the trade, it's a different discussion to me. It's still odd. I still have a lot of concerns with this. Guys, this ain't that team.
Yeah.
Tell me you know enough about basketball to recognize that.
And he's 7 years
You think
old.
Emmanuel quickly is going to carry you like Lowry and Van Vliet did? You serious? He doesn't want that smoke. He's overrated.